Gallino's investment into M-Tex and Landman isn't about saving a struggling oil company. It's about positioning himself to benefit no matter how badly things go. On the surface, his money looks like a lifeline. It stabilizes cash flow, keeps operations running, and gives leadership room to breathe after a string of disasters. But once you look closer, it becomes clear that Gallino's plan was never about rescue. It was about leverage. From the moment Gallino steps into the picture, he behaves less like an investor and more like a long-term strategist. He doesn't rush. He doesn't demand immediate control. He watches. He listens. And most importantly, he waits for M-Tex to weaken further before tightening his grip. This patience is what makes him dangerous. Gallino understands that desperate companies make concessions they would never agree to under normal circumstances. His plan depends on that desperation. The key to Gallino's strategy is timing. He didn't invest when M-Tex was stable. He waited until the company was battered by operational failures, leadership tension, and financial uncertainty. The offshore rig disaster accelerates this perfectly. Suddenly, M-Tex isn't just short on cash. It's vulnerable to lawsuits, insurance battles, and regulatory scrutiny. That vulnerability turns Gallino's money from optional to essential. Once that happens, the power balance shifts. Gallino structures his investment so that it looks supportive rather than predatory. There's no flashy takeover, no public confrontation, no immediate demand for board control. Instead, his influence grows quietly through conditions, dependencies, and future contingencies. Every dollar he puts in solves a short-term problem while creating a long-term obligation. That's not generosity. That's design. One of Gallino's smartest moves is allowing Cami to believe she's still in control. He never openly challenges her authority. In fact, he reinforces it. He speaks to her as an equal, validates her instincts, and positions himself as someone who believes in her vision. This isn't flattery, it's insulation. As long as Cami feels empowered, she won't recognize how much autonomy she's already surrendered. Gallino doesn't need to take power from her. He just needs her to keep using his. At the heart of Gallino's plan is optionality. He's structured his investment so that every outcome benefits him. If M-Tex recovers, he profits financially and gains industry credibility. If M-Tex stumbles, his leverage increases. If leadership fractures, he becomes the stabilizing force by default. And if the company collapses, he's positioned to acquire assets, contracts, or influence at a fraction of their value. There is no version of this deal where Gallino loses. The insurance situation plays directly into this. Gallino understands that the insurance claim is both M-Tex's best hope and its biggest liability. A successful claim could reduce dependence on his money, which is exactly why he has no urgency to push it forward. Delays benefit him. Legal uncertainty benefits him. The longer M-Tex waits for relief, the more normalized his involvement becomes. By the time insurance money arrives, if it ever does, Gallino's influence may already be irreversible. Another crucial part of Gallino's plan is exploiting leadership division. Tommy and Cami don't trust each other fully, and Gallino knows it. He doesn't create that fracture, he uses it. He positions himself as the rational middle ground, the calm voice between emotional leadership and operational chaos. Every disagreement inside M-Tex increases his value. The more fractured leadership becomes, the more indispensable Gallino appears. Tommy, in particular, is a liability Gallino is happy to let linger. He knows Tommy's dual role as president and Landman is unsustainable, but he doesn't push to remove him. Why would he? Tommy's mistakes create instability, and instability strengthens Gallino's hand. As long as Tommy remains, Gallino can continue presenting himself as the adult in the room, without ever taking public responsibility for outcomes. Gallino also understands something Cami underestimates. Control doesn't require ownership. It requires dependence. He doesn't need majority shares to shape decisions. He just needs M-Tex to rely on his money to function. Once payroll, operations, or survival hinge on his funding, every decision will be made with him in mind, whether he's in the room or not. That's real power. What makes Gallino's plan especially effective is how clean it looks on paper. Nothing he's doing is illegal. Nothing is overtly hostile. Every move can be defended as reasonable, supportive, and business-minded. That's what makes it so difficult to fight. By the time anyone realizes what's happening, the leverage is already locked in contractually, financially, and psychologically. Cammie's biggest mistake is believing she can outmaneuver Gallino once the crisis passes. Gallino isn't betting on crisis ending, he's betting on it becoming permanent. He knows industries like oil operate in constant instability. There's always another setback, another lawsuit, another market shift. His plan doesn't require perfection. It requires pressure. And M-Tex provides plenty of that. The brilliance and cruelty of Gallino's investment plan is that it allows him to remain blameless. If M-Tex succeeds, he's the visionary investor who believed when others didn't. If it fails, he's the businessman who tried to help and protected his interests. Either way, the narrative favors him. Ultimately, Gallino's plan isn't about M-Tex at all. It's about positioning himself above consequence. He's building influence without exposure, control without accountability, and profit without ownership. M-Tex is simply the vehicle. And the most dangerous part? Cammie doesn't realize she's already executing his plan for him. Every time she chooses short-term stability over long-term independence, Gallino wins. Every time she delays the insurance fight, Gallino wins. Every time she dismisses internal warnings to avoid appearing weak, Gallino wins. He doesn't need to force outcomes. He just needs M-Tex to keep doing what it's already doing. By the time Gallino makes his final move, whatever that may be, it won't feel sudden. It will feel inevitable. Because the truth is, his plan has been unfolding from the moment he wrote the first check. And by then, M-Tex won't be something he needs to take. It will already belong to him in every way that matters.